Greetings and good evening to you all. To you faculty members, Leo Africa Network Fellows, my fellow classmates, yes, dear guests and friends. I am deeply humbled to be here today to deliver the valedictorian speech of the YELP X class of 2023. It is a bittersweet moment. On one hand, there's the fact that the journey has now come to an end. On the other, there is the hope that this day marks the commencement of the never-ending journey of leadership. Perhaps a more appropriate way to put it will be to name it the next phase of the ever-continuous journey of leadership. Or as the young people would say, this is the time to level up. Having been equipped with the knowledge and gained profound insight from moderators, speakers, and leaders. Yes, leaders, because I think you will not be doing you justice to merely address you as speakers or facilitators. Really, you're change makers who were before most of us, who have been challenging the status quo. Honor to you who have graciously imparted your intellect, shared your experience, and challenged our minds to think differently. Honor to you, Owl, and those who stand with and alongside you. Those who make what I characterize as a windmill work. I've had the pleasure to interact with with Kwezi Tawalu, behind the scenes, coordinating by emails and phone calls, coming to the rescue of some of us. I'm sending messages and reminders. I remember I nearly would have missed one of the sessions by a whole hour had it not been for you. Nelson, that I've briefly met through the emails and reminders through the messages. And I just wanted to appreciate the team of photographers, capturing the moments we have been, the interaction we've had, capturing the memories really. So I appreciate you guys. And so many behind the scenes. My dear classmates, brilliant fellows. Yesterday when Kwezi asked us what were our expectations coming into the weekend, my answer was that they had already been met. But it wasn't just yesterday. It was from the beginning of the very first seminar we had. Each and every one of you is leading, breaking barriers, braving obstacles, dare I say, disrupting. But disrupting for the better. Disrupting for the change you want to see. To be among you, learning from you, alongside you, has been an inspiration. And really, nothing short of a blessing. Actually, the program has exceeded my expectations, to be honest. But you will allow me to mention you by name, my classmates. So, brace yourselves. Layla Ali. A fountain of knowledge you are. When you speak, you make the room want to pause and listen. So I do hope you get that podcast started. I'll be cheering you on as you break the airwaves. Better yet, you could lead that study group we've been talking about earlier, or start it. And I've heard many other initiatives you're starting. Zainab Muhammad. There is a fire in you. Not the kind that is destructive, the kind that burns like a torch. The kind that burns silently, but burns bright. The kind that is not satisfied by burning alone, the kind that lights up torches around her. So find that fire. It's impressive to watch. Ivan Coretta. I don't remember a time I showed up to a session and you didn't have a smile on your face. I mean, right now you do. Your charisma, coupled with your passion for advocating for what you believe in, has been refreshing. Mary Mutula. I admire your fierceness. The brave woman already carving the path for so many around you. You're an African woman ready to break out of the norms of the society. Peter Mudira. Your passion, your inner fight, that is apparent through the screen and in person. Your optimism is the kind that is needed to finish a race that most people would give up on. Memo Song. An impressive woman, determined from such a young age. I think when I learned that you have been advocating for wild conservation since you were a teenager, I was blown away. I don't remember what I was doing back then. But you are a woman of guts. Even when you're calm and quiet, when you do speak, you bring real value to the table. Ivan Magum, right here. I must applaud you on your recent achievement. You are a champion. I do suspect it is the fruit of many hours of hard work and grit. Rita Uwamahoro. You're a compassionate, empathetic, a woman who's set on fighting any injustice you're given to witness. A shaper in words and actions. Arnold Kwizera. A dedicated, unapologetically you. Yes. One who does not back away from a challenge. I do believe your parkour has been quite an enduring one. But somehow you make it look easy. And you're consistently kind. I have been listening to all of you, every session, every seminar, and I really hope that I've told no lies in my reflections. Members of faculty, there is a lot that my classmates and I have gained through the program. For some, they found the program thought-provoking and enlightening. It enhanced leadership skills and cross-cultural understanding through empowering interactions with accomplished peers where they could be themselves. The concept of leading self resonated with some, underscoring the paradox between self-care and appearances. This sparked reflection for them on whether leaders devote enough time to themselves. Some felt aid beats dependency and Africa should strategize to graduate from from it, as Singapore did. Others argued aid is not inherently bad if used properly. There were calls to understand each African country's context rather than treat Africa as one bloc. The second seminar, Hashim Mulangwa mentioned something that left a powerful impression. Leadership is a dangerous business. And it is. I was reminded that to be a leader, one must be ready to create tension. As Kasaga highlighted in Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter, challenging oppression requires strategic tension, not conflict for its own sake. Leaders are shaped by challenges and must demand freedom, not wait for it. To quote a passage in the letter, let us not be afraid of the word tension. Not violent tension, but the type of constructive, non-violent tension that is necessary for growth. Shuti Barazi stressed that self-leadership and self-care are foundation for effective leadership. Leadership requires showing up with excellence, not mediocrity. But one must nurture well what's within to pour out what is of value. I will underscore that true success lies in finding purpose, embracing diligence, and creating a positive impact through our work to be of use to our community. In the same context, the poem To Be of Use particularly challenged me. At first, I do confess that my passion for poetry might have influenced my interest, but then I went on to ponder this. If we're not of use, then what's the alternative? I fear to even say it out loud, but I do hope it is not a statement that defines us now or in the future to come. Lastly, during the graduation seminar, where a lot was shared, but these were the highlights. The importance of legacy was stressed. Whatever we do now would not only impact the wider society, but our families as well. So we must leave a legacy of value. Today particularly, the reading fueled yet again a fiery dialogue that spilled into the different events happening in the world. To paraphrase the words of William Marigumira, we must understand the anatomy of the tools that are available to us to be able to use them effectively. One particular thing that led me to reflect in how the conversation ended on the subject of diplomacy versus radicalism. I point this out because later on I had this revelation. I'll describe it as such, and I'll ask for your participation. So, I'm not a pastor, just yet, but turn to your neighbor.
Right or left?
On your right or on your left? Yeah? You've selected your neighbor? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Ready?
Quasi seems to be stateless.
Yeah?
Memo seems to
Yeah? Yeah? Alright. Alright, no, don't say anything. Now, close your fists and, bump your fists. Yeah? Yeah? What's the difference? It's a pop quiz. Huh? Oh my
My God.
When it's colonial, the other is my guy.
Wow. All right, so I will share my reflections and let me know if it aligns with what you thought, or maybe it will start something. When you shake hands, there is this afternoon during the last session, we heard from Zindana, who emphasized that to generate value, we must acquire knowledge. We must master the system before we even attempt to change it or reset it altogether, all while maintaining integrity. Dear YELPies, let us strive to be people who harness themselves, who pull like water buffalo, with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, and who do what has to be done again and again. At times, fear can lurk in, telling us that we're small, that our contribution is too small to bring in real change. But we cannot be confined to that thinking. In the recent words of our President, His Excellency Paul Kagame, he said, "The country can be small, but the value we create can be very high. So I have no problem trying to punch above my weight." To you all here, YELPies, let's keep on punching above our weight. Knowing it is not just for us that we do it, but for the generations behind us and the generations to come. There is a need to build each other for the good of all. From the reflections by Ali Mufruki on Nkrumah's legacy, he mentioned authentic African heroes uplift their people. We must craft a form of African unity that works for Africa today. We must join forces to be the change we want to see. Be willing to collaborate, be it in trade, in facilitating entry as Africans. Allow me to say, Rwanda welcomes you, visa-free. Another quote by His Excellency Paul Kagame. Africa's story has been written by others. We need to own our problems and solution and write our own story. Achieving change, I believe, does not begin and end with one person. It might begin with one, but I believe it will take a number of people who are emitting at the same wavelength to make a lasting impact. Well, you have pioneered the Leo Africa Institute. You have joined hands with many, and the fruits are all around to see. A network of fellows and undeniable strength in numbers. So we have a task ahead of us. First, we do unto others what has been impressed on us. Those will come after us, whether in this setting or in our respective areas of influence. Second, we position ourselves to advance our countries, our society, and the African continent as a whole. I will end with this poem, and I hope it lights a spark within. To be change makers, one needs not to assimilate, yet one cannot disassociate. One must integrate, however, to replicate needs be seen. One must join hands with other and bring change for all others. Thank you all.